We'd like to thank everybody for coming today out at the 3rd Division. Senator Rand Paul is here today to acknowledge all of your great work in the 3rd Division that you've been doing and will keep doing, specifically the case of the kidnapping of the 3-year-old girl, or I'm sorry, the 6-year-old girl by a stranger. Senator Paul.
Good morning. Amidst calls to defund the police, I think it's important that we recognize and honor the police for what they do for our community. To me, this story was an emotional story. I read of a child, a potential kidnapping by a stranger. I've got 3 boys. They're now grown, but I can tell you worry about this kind of stuff, as your kids are growing up. What we did is we decided to write up and honor several folks who are involved, and we're going to name them in just a minute. And we put into the congressional record the story and the heroism of the police department because we think it needs to be appreciated. We need to appreciate those who do help us and keep us safe. I'm going to list a couple of the names of several of the names of the officers, and then I'm going to ask Sergeant Keeling to come up in a minute. We're going to look at the video together, and he's going to describe a little bit of what went on that day. But of the officers that were involved, and it was a very quick response. How long did it take the first officer to get there? Does anybody know? Within minutes? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
About 5 minutes to get on the scene of that.
Which is pretty amazing how fast, and we realize, well, we have to have police and they have to be pretty quick. I was at the ball field years ago when we had a mass shooter at the ball field, and it seemed like an hour when they're shooting at you. It seems like it takes forever. And the guy fired off 160 bullets, shot one guy about 10 feet from him. But during the shooting, I was like, oh, God, it lasted an hour, and it lasted, I think, 6 minutes total. But by the 6th minute, the 2 Capitol Hill police were there, started returning fire. But then I was told there was Alexandria police within 6 minutes, and the person who, they say, they never released this, but they say the person who took the final shot on the shooter was a 4'11" policewoman, women will appreciate this, who had a rifle, and she took the shot that brought him down. But speed is of the essence. So these are some of the officers that were involved: Sergeant Joe Keeling, Stephen Barone, Jason Burns, Travis Elder, Charles Ennis, Aaron Flannery, Malachi Green, Nicholas Green, Clint Green, we've got the whole Green family here, Jake Harris, Mark Manning, Amy Mills, Michael Rock, or Rack, Bradley Russell, Tom Stettenbenz, and Lucera Aguilera Vasquez. And we also wanted to honor those at Metro Safe Dispatch who had to really relay these signals quickly: Emily David, Hannah Hurley, and Jim Intramaggio. We also have today with us the citizen who not only called this in, but took the time to get in the car very quickly, chase after the suspect, and get the license plate. And he's here today, Prentice Weatherford. Thank you. Now, actually, why don't we have everybody that I named, if you wouldn't mind, coming up. We have a presentation. Ultimately, it'll look like this. We don't have all of them for everybody today, but we will. And then if everybody will come up, and Sergeant Keeling, if you would take us through the video. But if we could have everybody else come up, that would be great.
I'd first like to thank everyone for showing up today to show their support for Louisville Metro Police Department, and more specifically the 3rd Division. This story's success was a unified effort on behalf of the 3rd Division, Metro Safe, and witnesses of the crime that were willing to take their part to catch this suspect. I feel lucky to have been a part of this along with those mentioned. I'm thankful that I could step in and use my knowledge and training to respond to a child in danger, just as I would hope someone would do for me if this was my child. It really is every parent's worst nightmare, and I can't say enough how proud I am of our team for working together to ensure the situation had a successful outcome. Thank you again for coming out and showing your support. At this point, I've already spotted the suspect vehicle that turned into a driveway on Grafton Hall Road. I exit my vehicle and I detain the suspect at gunpoint, give him my location to all the backup officers that were in the area looking for this vehicle. I'll walk him back to me. And to create distance from the vehicle and the victim, and hold him at gunpoint until my backup officers arrive, because at this point we don't know what's going on inside that vehicle, if there's other suspects in it or just the victim. Officer Burba and several other officers arrive. Officer Ennis comes in and he is securing the suspect. Pretty much all the backup officers arrive simultaneously. Officer Ennis is moving in, securing the suspect, while Officer Burba, Officer Harris, and Officer Barone are stacking up on the passenger side of the vehicle. They're preparing to move in and perform a hostage rescue. We're trying to make contact with who's in the car because we can't tell how many people are in the car. At this point, Officer Burba moves up and opens the door and rescues the victim from the vehicle. At the same time, we're also clearing the vehicle for other suspects just to get her out of it and get her out of harm's way.
Thank you. Pretty amazing. Well, we have everybody up here. If we have any questions from the media, we could take a few questions, I think. Let's keep it on this subject.
We've got time for like maybe one from each outlet. I mean, I got kids. It makes me emotional just watching that video. What was it like for you guys personally, just to see a kid who just got kidnapped?
No, it's gut wrenching. We know, the trauma that child had to be going through. I believe we had the child back within about 9 to 10 minutes. We wish we could have made that 9 to 10 seconds for this child. It was a lot, and our biggest concern was just getting her away from him and reducing the trauma as much as we could that was already there for her.
This is sort of an unusual outcome, right? I mean, these kind of abductions often don't end well, right?
Right. It's very rare for the stranger abduction to happen anyways. And then at this point, we were able to get in the area and keep him from getting too far, because at that point, we would be no telling where to start to try to find her.
Was there a lot of old-fashioned police work involved to get this thing solved quickly?
Yes, sir. That's what I would call it. It's having officers out there on the street that could respond and saturate the area as quick as possible. My guys took very little. They required very little direction from me. They basically dropped everything that they were doing, put themselves on this run, and everybody got in the area as quick as we could to try to keep this guy from getting too far, and that's why we were able
So
to.
most people responded probably were already out in their cars, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
you weren't coming from the station and getting in a car, you were
No,
out
sir. A lot of these
patrolling
people
and in the neighborhoods.
they were all out patrolling. We had so many runs that day. I was even out on a run, handling something myself when this run came out, and people that were actually on calls that were kind of low priority calls dropped everything they were doing, and everybody got to the area as quick as we could.
You mentioned that these things are kind of rare. If you're a parent and you're watching this and you're sort of freaking out and you're wondering, man, should I be letting a 6-year-old play in the neighborhood? What would you tell that parent?
It's safe to let your child play in the neighborhood. Of course, that they need to be supervised. However, we don't want people to think they're going to walk out the door and somebody's going to run up and snatch their child. It is important. Stranger danger is very important. It's very important to teach your child that the rare instances this can happen, but it's extremely rare. We don't want you to fear walking outside. That's not the thing. What we really need to credit this to is witnesses that were willing to immediately call 911 and gave great descriptions, and we knew exactly what we were looking for, and we were able to locate the vehicle.
Is that the bigger story here, Sergeant? Helping the public, you think?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, they put the tools in our lap. We, worked with what we got. They made the phone calls. MetroSafe pieced it all together. Of course, I'm sure it was chaos in the radio room. MetroSafe did a great job at piecing all the different information together and putting out to us exactly what was pertinent to it and getting rid of the stuff that wasn't pertinent, and made perfectly clear what we were looking for, and that's how we were able to locate the vehicle.
And I would say this is an extraordinary thing, and it brought it to our attention, but every day the police are going out, stopping people that are either committing crimes, that are a danger to your community, but also, rescuing elderly people who are alone in their house. The police are often the people called for that. We just need to appreciate the good things that they're doing. This doesn't mean we don't scrutinize behavior and make sure people are doing the best for us, but we need to appreciate the good things that are going on in our community and that the police are part of that.
And I think if the two gentlemen, the father and son, you guys would step up, I think officers would certainly like to thank you, and we appreciate you guys.
This is the father and son of the child, or?
No, they're who actually called 911. They followed the vehicle for a short period of time, gave a license plate, and, yeah, so they're, everybody, I think someone asked a question, that this has got to be a community effort for us. We all have to work together to solve the crime in our community, and these individuals, these guys, did exactly what we need them to do. They were there, they called, gave all the information, and that's what we ask every day, for the community to get involved, provide us tips, provide us information, and as a team, we can do this. We alone cannot. We need the community. We need the support of the community, and we need help. We need the community's help. So this is the perfect example of when we're able to do that and stop something really horrible from happening.
Would you guys relate that story to us? What was it like, for you all, seeing all that?
Why don't you guys go to the microphone?
Your turn.
So like he was saying, it was very gut-wrenching, seeing that happen to a young girl. It was scary for her, but at the end of the day, you just want to get her home safe. So
Were you across the street, or where were you?
same side of the road as her, 6 houses down.
Okay.
Yeah, start from the beginning. Just tell us everything you saw and what was going through your mind as you were watching.
So this guy just came around the corner and, snatched this little girl up out of her.
Right off her bike.
Right off her bike, yeah, on the sidewalk. And like I said, it was gut-wrenching, a little scary for a second, but, you just gotta do what you gotta do and, put her before myself.
But it was very obvious to you something was wrong.
Yeah, you just don't snatch a little girl like that.
Yeah, he stopped in the middle of the road, snatched her off the bike, threw her through the driver's seat to the passenger seat, was gone.
Yeah, so we our car actually got broken into that morning, so we were thankfully outside at that time and happened to catch it, so.
And then you got in your car, one of you or both of you,
Yeah, we got in my
His car and,
and then followed them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Were you still following them when they pulled over?
Yes.
yeah, we were behind him and then I believe it was you.
Yeah.
Yeah. These officers came and we pulled over and they passed us and stopped them.
Were you worried at all for your own safety? I mean, if someone's willing to kidnap a child in broad daylight, who knows what they might be willing to do to you if you're tailing them?
Not as much as I was worried about hers, so.